Hi guys, good morning. So we are on our 4th race day, which means we are almost through the week. We are in Pueblo right now, so we stayed the night here last night, so we have until 4 o'clock to get the cars ready and at the track today, so it's a little bit smoother day than some of the previous ones. So we are going to just go over some stuff while we're still in the hotel parking lot, so we can go back up and change or wash our hands or whatever before we head to the track. And then right now I got to track down my boost issue that I was having the other night in Great Bend. So after we had the whole gear drive issue, trying to find a timing chain issue, all that, we got to the track. I made my first pass, as you saw, and it didn't build boost on the line. I built 3 pounds, so that's only the spring, and then I built 26 pounds by the top end. So it's a weird deal. What I'm thinking, hoping, fingers crossed, is that I've just switched a line. So I'm getting ready to trace the lines and see, you know, if in the rush, maybe that's what happened. So that's my biggest thing right now. And then I'm gonna lash the valves and just go over everything and make sure it's okay. And then I've got some kind of weird, grindy type noise. Grinding is not the right word. I don't know how to describe it. Like a wah 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 noise when I turn sometimes when everything gets kind of hot. So I gotta try to look at that and see if there's anything there, if that's nothing to worry about. So Dad's over there with the Nova getting his stuff all together. I'm not sure what he's doing. I haven't really talked to him yet, so I'm gonna hop over there and check on him as well. So anyways, today should be hopefully a much better day than the last couple track days. Hopefully we see an 850 or so out of Badmaro. I am going to, since I'm not really in contingency for like placing at this point, I'm just going to use these next 2 days as kind of like testing, working on maybe building like a timing retard, so that way like we can get our launches down better, and you know, I have a little less pressure and a little bit more ability just to maybe test the car and use that time for that. So that's kind of the plan today, so hopefully that plan goes accordingly and we don't have any surprises. So I'm gonna go see what Dad's doing now. A little bit ahead. I think he's almost done with whatever he's doing. I think he's lashing valves. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he's all wrapped up. I don't know where Jake is. What all are you doing?
Running my valves because it sounds like a thrashing machine inside. You'd swear that the valves are so loose that they're gonna beat themselves to death. Guess what I found?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
When you drive on these long drives, you make noises up too.
Man, I can tell you, I've never ridden in my car on a drive like that. And yesterday I told Jake, it's your turn. And sitting in the driver's seat, it sounds like the car's falling apart. It always does. I went to the passenger seat, and it's like riding a Cadillac. I mean, the sounds is so different. I don't have no idea why. But the valve tray's so noisy on the left side. On the right side, you don't hear anything. The valves were just basically perfect this morning.
So what else are you gonna do?
I'm thinking about putting a set of plugs in. I've got them. It's easy to do. I might go ahead and do that just so I get a good clean tune today. We have time, right?
Yeah. It's 9 something, 9:30.
I think I'm gonna get the jack out, put a set of plugs in.
Ew. Turbo plugs. It's easier on his car to do than mine. Mine is so tight. I can barely get my hand in to take a couple of the plugs out, just because there's so much stuff crammed into such a small place. But anyways, so he's doing whatever all he's doing, and then I'm gonna come back and pull my tools out and get Badmaro ready. So for anyone, actually, let's go back real quick. Dad, are my tires hiding in that trailer?
Is your what?
Do I have spare wheels and tires hiding in that trailer?
Yeah, look. I've got them buried so you can't see them. They're underneath these gas cans.
Yeah.
Both of them, they're stacked up under the gas cans.
So for anyone asking, there literally can't be any more room for any more crap.
Front.
Oh yeah, wait, crap, that's a 315 without any wheels in it.
I wonder if we could get that under the car. Some internet hater would probably say that.
So, for anyone asking, my junk's not in there because he has no more room for my junk.
Yeah, but I can't even find my own jack.
He can't even find his jack, he just said. So, my stuff's all on Badmaro. Right there. Going through, doing some general checks. The motor's so dirty right now. Forgive that. But anyways, just going through and lashing the valves, just making sure nothing picked up any lash or lost any. So went through and checked them all, and they all lashed. They're a little bit, like they're all maybe a thousandths loose, maybe, but I'm gonna leave it because it's so cold right now. Like the motor's so cold, it has no temperature in it. So lashed them cold, and we lash them tight anyways. So that's all good. So nothing changed. They're all equal all the way across. So happy with that. Getting ready to trace boost line. So what I'm thinking happened is I'm hoping that I crossed this line and this line. And I'm hoping that's causing my issue. When I looked at the data log, it builds 3 pounds of boost with no problem. So that's what the springs are at. It comes up in the same amount of time that it has. So I don't think it's like we missed getting the cam timed in right or anything like that. I don't think that's the case. I think we've got just an air issue. It commands the dome pressure, says it has the dome pressure, but it's not building the boost. So it gets to the spring, the RPM and everything comes up quickly, and then it just plateaus on the data log like that. And then as soon as it gets out and gets moving a little ways on the track, the boost shoots up and the RPM shoots up. So it's building, it's just not building when it should, and we're stuck at the spring for some reason. So I can't see anything in the data logs that's causing that. So right now, that's, fingers crossed, that's what it is. Like I said, that's what I'm getting ready to trace now that I've kind of gone through and just checked everything and a general check and just making sure it's all good from the drive. So we'll see shortly. So good news, bad news. Good news, we found the issue. Bad news is I don't have the part to fix it. So here's the theory. So we were tracing lines, and I'm holding while Dad's blowing air, and we realized that we have air coming in the wastegate through the diaphragm. So there's a leak. The diaphragm has either ripped, torn, something's messed up inside of it. We haven't taken the wastegate apart yet to check, but it is definitely wastegate related diaphragm. Finding a diaphragm on a Sunday in Pueblo, Colorado, I don't have a spare, is not going to be fun or easy. Fun, I don't care about the fun. Easy, doesn't really matter, but possible is what I should say. So I couldn't find a timing set the other day, so I'm sure finding this will be just as hard. But my theory right now is that it's building the spring pressure, so the diaphragm will not affect the spring pressure that it builds on. So right now there's 3.5 pound springs or 3 pound springs. It builds like 3.5 pounds of boost, which isn't enough to have me launch hard enough from the line to do a good 60 and to do a good pass. So my thought right now is I'm on the hunt for a wastegate spring that's 5, 7, 10 pounds, whatever I can find. If I can have that, that'll get me to build off the line. I'm gonna limp it through the week on a spring for the launch, and then it's building the boost with 1 turbo based on, up top. So to recap, the theory is we're gonna put a spring in it, higher spring pressure to help with the launch, help me build 7, 8 pounds of boost on the launch. That way I can get my 60 down, and then I'm gonna rely on basically 1 turbo's boost to take me through the top end, if that makes sense. So if we can find a spring, maybe we can limp it. I'm gonna be on the hunt for a diaphragm as well, but that's gonna be hard to find, so we'll see. You would never think. Newest thoughts, we're just running through ideas. So the newest idea is we might go try to find an inner tube patch and patch my diaphragm, depending on how bad it's actually blown or torn once we get into it. So we've come up with like some, not so proper options, but we might try those. But I'm gonna go around up front and see if anybody might have a spare. So first option, the best option would be to find a spare diaphragm. Second would probably be to try to patch it, and third would probably be to try to find springs, but that's not the best option. So okay, we shall continue searching. We did have an issue.
I went to check it, realized that's what our issue is.
Homies, what the heck are you doing under
looks
here?
good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's livable. It ain't bad. We'll polish it a little bit.
Oh, I've got
We had a little bit of it. Yeah. Fun lady is.
80 grit on there.
Homies, what are you doing?
That's not bad. We are working on the fast car. While you're waiting on parts for the slow car.
Jake, what are you guys actually doing?
The Slova has, we noticed a vibration yesterday when we were driving. It just came from nowhere. I thought it was the rear end gears because they're getting old and tired, but it turns out it's tail housing bushing in the transmission. So we've decided, Mr. Transmission here, says we're gonna plumb oil and pressure feed the bushing before we do this again. Because it's with the kind of pressure that I'm putting on it, leaving with 4,000 pound car, it's just really killing that tail housing bushing.
On these Turbo 400s, when they don't have a speedometer gear in the back, there's nothing to sling the fluid towards the bushing like on a stock transmission. And so we're gonna pressure feed it. You know, the street mileage and the 180 plus mile an hour passes are pretty rough on that bushing. I need something to cut these.
Okay, have fun. I'm going to take a wastegate apart.
All right.
Of what the issue is, we found it seemed like it was a diaphragm, but now we can see with soapy water we pull it out and it looks like it's just going to be a fitting right there. So we're going to change that fitting out and that should fix that. So that's an easier fix, so that's very good.
Except we already took it apart.
Yeah,
All right.
but at least we have parts
These
now.
fittings are junk.
Okay, new theory. So good news is that the diaphragm was not messed up. Second good news is that we were able to replace those fittings. They were leaking. Now I got the bad news for you. The bad news is that when I tried to put it on the brake just a second ago and build boost, I don't have anything. I have no bottom end on that right now. I can barely get it to come up on boost. It's a bad deal. So the conclusion that we're at is that when we were putting it back together the other day and working on, like when we had the gear drive issue, we were in between teeth and we weren't sure that we had it perfect. Under the circumstances, we couldn't degree it, we couldn't verify it. We had to go with what looks right, and we're currently thinking we've just got the cam retarded. We have 4 hours until the track goes hot. We don't run first. I was kind of thinking, like, what do we want to do? I don't want to put Dad in a bind again like I did the other day. But we know what we're doing now as far as like getting it torn apart. We don't have to take the oil pump off. We only have to take the cam gear off, and we're going to leave the idler on. So that's going to be a lot easier. So I'll show what we think we're going to do. So we think we can get it done in less than 4 hours. I'm getting ready to go after a puller for the harmonic balancer, and we're going to make it happen. And we hope that's the problem. We can't swear to it yet because we haven't seen it, been inside it yet, but that's what we're thinking. So bad news is it's more work than the other problems. Good news is we have the stuff to fix it because it's not going to really take much. It's going to get cooled down. I'm going to go off after the puller, and we are going to start ripping stuff apart.
We're going to do this quick.
What is our time estimate? Let's make a call. 2.5 hours.
Yep.
2.5 hours? Okay.
Close enough.
Close enough. We'll see if that happens.
Okay, we think we found our problem. What are you doing, Alex?
Pulling it back apart because I think we got our cam retarded the other day.
You're retarded?
My cam is.
So when we were putting it together, the cam idler, or the gear between the crank and the cam sprocket, was just a little bit off. And we lined it up, we thought right, but it was so close it was really hard to tell. So it looks like maybe we got the cam 1 tooth retarded, which is probably 4 degrees or so, which would make it spool really slow, be really lazy on the bottom end, but pull like a train on the top. Well, she says it pulls like a train on the top and it won't spool. We've looked at everything. So we've got 4 hours before the track goes hot. We're gonna try to pull it down, change the cam timing, 1 tooth, and see if we can make this thing work.
48 and progress is rolling good. I was able to get the harmonic balancer puller in like, I don't know, 10 minutes. Ran to O'Reilly's, picked it up. We've got the front cover off. We're in the process of taking the oil pump off. We're just hunting Torex sockets right now because when I tore everything up the other day and my tools got destroyed, they somehow got misplaced. So anyway, that's all off. We are on track for making our, what I call 2.5 hour mark. So we're rolling. 2:45, still rolling. 12:45. Okay, hang on, let me turn this off. Show what's wrong. Let's see if I can get down in here. Okay, so see, here is the cam mark right here, that little dimple right there that I'm touching. And here is the crank mark. So see how these are not, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but they're not straight up and down. They might look like it here, but they're not. When we were eyeballing it the other day, the way it was twisted just a little, they looked way closer than they are, but it looks like now, we can pretty much confidently tell that those are not lined up. So that's our issue. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the cam gear perfectly straight up and down, and then we're going to take the cam gear off and rotate the crank gear so that it's straight up and down, and then put the cam gear back on straight up and down. So that way we have them lined up and we'll have it back in time like it's supposed to be. So that's the plan right now. We're gonna verify that those are not correct, and then we're gonna go with that process. The clock has stopped 2 hours and 8 minutes, and we got it all fixed. So we got it back set to where it should be. It's no longer retarded. Everything's back together. We're about to do a spool test on it, make sure it spools, and if it does, we're good to go. There you go. Guys, if it's not one thing, it's another. So hopping in, we're in a car right now trying to head over to O'Reilly's. Went to start it and I have an RPM error. So it starts, but when I tried to bring it up on boost, cut out, died. RPM had an error from the log, so then killed it, tried to start it again, and it's when I did a cranking log, it's just error, error, error. So somehow in the process, I guess we've dinged the cam sensor. I called our friend Ryan Witt, who works at Holly and has a lot of background knowledge, and he's just super helpful anyways. So I called him, talked to him, and he told me to, because we were wondering if it's the crank sensor, and he told me how to check it. And so to O'Reilly's we head. They have one in stock for like 46 bucks. So I'm telling you, it's gonna fight us. It is fighting us till the end. To top it off, guys, this is disgusting, but I got a nosebleed going back from O'Reilly's. On the bright side, I have the cam sync. On the bad side, got a nosebleed. The world is not working with me at the moment.
It's 2020.
It's 2020. Ugh. Nope, see? It's gonna start. This is disgusting. Oh. So the car may not be good, but Jennifer Pearson sure is. Look at this. She legitimately brought a smorgasbord. It looks like catering. Oh my goodness.
And it's good.
It's good. I haven't got to eat it yet, but I'm gonna let you know in like 2 seconds. I'm sure it is good. So basically, we were at the hotel. I'm going to recap from the beginning. So we figured out that the cam was 1 degree retarded. We thought if we fixed that, every issue would be fixed. We pulled it down, had it fixed in 2 hours and 15 minutes or 7 minutes. We go to put it on the brake and it won't build boost, and we're still like, what's going on? And then the car just dies in the middle of trying to build. And we're like, what the heck? I pull a log and I see RPM error. After this, it won't start. It goes 100 RPM, error, 107 RPM, error, 107 RPM, error. So as I said, I talked to Ryan Witt from Holly. He's so great. Thank you, Ryan. You saved the day. So I'm talking to him and we're running through this. He's like, yeah, you should get a sensor. I go get a sensor. Put the new sensor in. Problem is worse. So I pull a system log. I send it to Ryan. We're looking at it, discussing it. And we realized that there's 8 pulses per rotation where it should be 4. So it's just causing it to freak out, error. So we get this and we're like, well, what do we do? So we start coming up with what could the problem be, what could the problem be? What we think is happening, this is preliminary, please don't hold me to this because I'm not positive, we haven't got to investigate that far, is there are 4 bolts that hold the reluctor wheel on the cam gear. And so it's picking up the 4 magnets on the reluctor wheel and it's picking up the 4 bolts on this reluctor wheel as well. So we've got 8 pulses instead of 4. So that's thrown everything out of whack. So, per Ryan's advice and our discussions and everything, we decided to turn the cam sensor off, to run without cam sensor, only crank sensor, and turn it where it does untimed sequential fire, which basically it's just randomly picking which cylinder is number 1. So we went ahead, changed it to that. I've never done that before, so I was a little nervous, but we go out. I put a timing retard in at the launch, 5 degrees, which I've never done that either before. I put my 854 tune-up from last year, and we went out, and I just ran past number 1, and we're 1 and done, which is awesome. And I ran an 857 at 166.44, and I'm gonna turn that dude in, because that is awesome. What?
Oh, I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, she's talking crap, I guess. All right, Dad and Chad. Hey, that rhymed. Okay, Dad and Chad are gonna run together. Dad's in the lanes for his second pass. I'm calling it, this is a 7-seconder. Okay, Chad's getting a busting, right? Why is he getting a
Since
busting?
you're on there, I can't say exactly what I wanted to
Oh,
say.
I mean, we can do a cut. We'll redo this.
Hey! You cheating, lying piece of...
See how mine would
You lied to me! You're a cheater! I'll give you anything you want. I'll give you the leave. You left.
Did you see how mine wouldn't even spin the tire?
No, I wasn't looking at you. How'd it feel when I went past you at 170?
If my head snapped all the way over and whacked the roll bar, good thing for the padding.
I thought, well, I'm sitting there spooling and the light turns green.
Yeah.
And Chad goes, whoa!
I wish I went, whoa! It was more like,
Whoa! I thought, you lying piece.
I'll give you the real race if I can get this thing to leave. It would not spin the tire, dude. I mean, at all. It would not.
I knew you weren't going to do
I
what
put
you
the
said.
no, I was, but I put Excel enrichments in it, and the thing it didn't work, dude. It was at 17.5 air fuels trying to do a burnout. It literally had not enough fuel to even spin.
All right, Home Dog's going up for his 3rd pass. What's this gonna be now?
790.
790. Okay, this is the actual 7-second
If it
pass. If it sticks, this is gonna be a pass.
It's going to have enough power to go 790s, but whether it'll stick.
Okay,
That's right.
we're shooting for that.
Yep.
He's got something to turn in. He just wants to go fast. Do not ask me how this happened because I don't know. You're in a little bit of a sticky situation, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't know if I should step out and leave my shoe or if I should just stay here and keep the car from rolling more.
Dad said you're in trouble because he's not backing up. Okay, so I have something I want to show you guys and share. Goodbye, Mama Michelle. Papa Joe Berry. Anyways, so anytime you question possibly shortcutting safety, don't do it. I know that you guys called me out on a parachute the other day, whatever. But I'm typically very, very safety. Like, I wear my Hans, I wear it all, I go that extra step. But sometimes when you get busy and you get hectic, it's easy to want to cut those corners and take those chances. And you sometimes forget the chances you're taking. So, I drive with my belly pan off, and I put it on at the track, and I do it almost every day. I try to do it every day. Well, yesterday, because of the circumstances, I didn't put my belly pan on. Today, I almost didn't put my belly pan on because honestly, I just didn't want to do it. That's terrible. But I was talking to Dad, and I was like, should I put my belly pan on? Like, what should I do? And he's like, yeah, you probably ought to. And I was like, yeah, I should, just in case, because I've had problems today with, you know, that could turn into this. Well, let me show you guys this. So I say all that to say this, my cam sensor, which is the one I've been having an issue with, the bolt was stripped a little, and we knew that, but we didn't know that it was stripped all the way. Really, we didn't have any options. I'm gonna turn this around and show you. My belly pan is full of oil, not like a puddle, but it has got a lot of oil in it. The bolt from the cam sensor is actually in the pan. So had I not had that belly pan on, I would have got oil on the track, which affects everyone else. And two, I would have also put myself in danger. So safety is important. Don't take those shortcuts. I just want to show you guys this because it's really crazy. It's crazy to think that like I was like that close to not putting it on, and it's crazy to think that, you know, what technically could have happened. So whatever, everything's okay. I just wanted to share that so you remember it maybe. So it's dark, so I am going to do my best to show you this. Okay, so let's see, how can I do this? I don't even know if I can do this. So, yeah, you can hold that. Let's see, I don't know where I want you to hold that. Okay, so I don't know if you can see down in there. See all that oil? Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so see all the oil that's slung everywhere? My car's disgusting, I know, please don't judge me. So, all the oil down in there on the pan. You can see the corner right there, the shiny corner of it. Well, all that like oil slick looking is from the cam sensor coming out. So anyways, that's all I wanted to show. You can actually see the bolt down there. I don't know if I can show it right now. Oh, right there. There's the bolt. See it over there? Yep. Okay, so that's that. I just wanted to share that. Just wanted to remind you there's oil everywhere. But anyways, take your safety measures. Okay, obviously we are back at home now and like everything is getting settled down. So I had this video to share and then I'll have one more to share for the final day. So our day at Pueblo started off pretty rough. Once again, we kind of started midday. We're like, we're not gonna make it. This car is not gonna make it to the track. I'm not gonna get to finish it this year. But luckily we got everything fixed and we got back on the road, got back to the track. So that was, it was a successful day for me for going out after having all those problems and running an 8:56. That was a good day. And then Dad ran really good. I think he turned in an 8:09 because I think that's what his first pass was. I don't remember. So he turned in a low 8. So it was a good day for both of us. I actually like Pueblo. I like going to that track. I run good there pretty much every year. So that was it. So Pueblo was kind of a hectic day. I hope you guys maybe enjoyed going through the process and the roller coaster of diagnosing the problem, finding a problem, realizing it's not the problem, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully it wasn't too long. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We are almost done with this Rocky Mountain Race Week series, but there is one more. So until then, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys tomorrow.